our first item on the agenda is the approval of the November 19th, 2025 minutes. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Okay, by Bill. Any comments or questions before we vote on approving the minutes? No, I think we're good. Okay. Then by show of hands, please raise your hand if you approve the minutes. Okay. Matthew, stop laughing. Okay. Next is the report of the president of the board. This is a very exciting report. So we have two new board members joining us in January. One is brand new, no one knows her. Stephanie Pasha is returning to us. Very exciting. And then another is Ron Waddell, and he actually has a long history with the library as well. He was the first driver of Lily, and just overall like a gregarious, nice guy. And so it'll be really great to have his energy on the board as well. And there was another person who went up to for the seat as well. And so it was really exciting to see a lot of people interested in joining us and interested in supporting the library. And so we'll engage with those people who also expressed some interest but didn't get it this round, and ideally have some more fresh faces coming and joining us to support the library and the community. Welcome back, Stephanie. Thanks for joining us. And Ron's not on there.
He said that he had a conflict thing he was gonna try to call in. I just see Katie on, so I do not see him.
Okay, well, if he watches the recording, since Roseanne's on it, thank you, Ron, for being willing to join us. So they will be joining us in January, and Katie will be rapping, and Bill Wallace will be rapping. So thank you for joining us and supporting the library. Thank you. And don't be a stranger.
So traditionally, the exiting board members do get a gift from the library. The problem is that I was supposed to order that gift a month ago, and I just just asked someone to open the PO this week, so it'll come later. Sorry about that.
Jason, I know you just want me to go to the board meeting in January. All you have to do is ask.
If you want your gift.
All right, okay, so now for some more exciting forward planning, we have officer nominations, and so this is for the election that will be held in January. In January, for the bylaws, Jason will read the descriptions of each of the positions and we'll vote on them then. But the purpose of this conversation is to take nominations for for three roles, and then also to confirm interest in who wants to serve as treasurer. So we'll go ahead and start with taking nominations for the president of the board. I'd like to nominate Stephanie Pasha as president. I confirmed that she would be interested and okay with serving in the role and not just like volunteering her. So I'll throw that out there that I'd like to nominate her because I think she knows what she's doing, as we all have seen. Any other nominations for president? Okay, all right, and David nominates himself, right? Okay, so we've got Stephanie and David for president. Thank you, David. Okay, next for vice president, any nominations for vice president?
Laura, do you want to be vice president?
Sure. Yes, I would happily serve as vice president if, yes.
Oh, great, yeah.
That's great.
Okay, any other nominations for vice president? Okay. All right, next is secretary. Are there any nominations for secretary?
Roseanne.
Okay, Roseanne for secretary.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Now she's typing them in.
I know, great minute, yeah. Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to do all of Jason's buckets now. That's the big change. I don't know if you guys noticed it. For strategic plan.
Very nice. All right, anybody else for secretary nominations? Okay, so then the last one is treasurer. So this is a special one where it's a different type of election process that will happen in January, and we'll also do a special process for electing the members of the finance committee as well. We'll try to confirm before we go into that January meeting who is willing to serve on the finance committee too. But I did just want to confirm that Matthew said that he would be okay with continuing to serve as treasurer.
Yes.
They don't trust me, they need, you gotta confirm. So Matthew is willing to continue to serve in that role. Is there anybody else who's interested?
I'll nominate him for that role.
There we go. Okay. Anyone else interested? Taking down Matthew? All right,
And please do think if you want to be on the finance committee, it requires us to have 2 additional people, and it does require a ballot process.
yes. Any questions about that as you're considering if you're interested in that?
Can you repeat what he said?
Yes,
Oh, sorry. My voice doesn't carry as much in here. To think about if you are interested in serving on the finance committee, because it does require us to elect 2 additional people. It's not just volunteer or appointment by the president for that one.
Yeah, so the process is at the next board meeting, after the votes are done, we will distribute ballots for you guys to vote. However, we did look into Kim's question last year. We will have to then announce the votes of it, and we'll record it into, and I will send it into Roseanne. The tough part is our bylaws and our current open meeting law don't 100% match, so
Yeah.
we'll work on matching them. But it is still a process where we can have everyone vote, and then I would just have you check off your name at the bottom, because we do have to report who voted for, just for the open meetings. So if you're interested in joining the 3-person finance team, think about it.
okay, all right. Those are the officer nominations, and so now we'll move into the report of the executive director.
Thank you very much. Well, first, I would be remiss to not acknowledge the different space we're in. This is our ellipse meeting room. And we'll see what you guys think of it by the end of it. It's our friends had a standing meeting that they were supposed to have from 4:30 to 5:30 today. You know, it's important that they book their room, we'll find another place, despite that being the boardroom, so, but they've canceled their meeting, but we can't change stuff, because that's what it says in the agenda where we are. So hopefully, taking some time, taking space, I did plug in the lights that we leave in from Chrissy's event, just to add a little bit of ambiance for us. But also, we're taking a look at a different type of setup and seeing how different types of meetings happen. You have all received 2 pieces of paper by me. The one with the letterhead on it is the only one that I will acknowledge in this conversation, because the admin committee will report on the holiday hours during that report. But normally in January, we send out the dates. But I received an email from Stephanie yesterday, double checking a couple dates. So I figured it might be good for all of you to see this, and then if there are issues upcoming where most people can't make it, then we can work in advance rather than trying to figure out last minute and Jason doing a doodle poll. So the only things to note is the second to last meeting of the year is, I just moved it up 1 week to November 18th. As a reminder, the 4th Wednesday of the month is the day before Thanksgiving, and we close at 5:30. We do not stay open until 8:30. So that's why that's moved up a week. If that date does not work for the majority, then we can obviously find a different date and with plenty of time to do so. But those are the dates thus far. And we can have subsequent conversations. Good part of that conversation is whether or not June 24th will work. For both Matthew and I go to ALA. But I believe ALA starts on the 25th, so I don't know. I'll have to look when I was making this earlier. So that's just for everyone's information. If you know in advance of any of these dates, either see me after the meeting or send me an email after the meeting. And if I get 6 of you can't attend May 27th, I will do the work to get an alternate date. So that's one of the 2 sheets you gave out. To get to the report of the executive director, While we had a kind of the more whimsical format, as we prepare for the accessibility requirements of municipalities in April of 2026, I would be moving to this format, which does have all of the data to make sure that screen readers can understand the different headings, subject headings, and elements. Including in those subject headings, every time I have to write a picture, I have to use alt text on that picture so that in both the PDF and on the web version, you can see what the picture is. So for example, on this front page, the description of this picture is Director of Innovation and Public Service, Tressa Santillo, poses with her ukulele and the Grinch. So that's the alt text for that.
Is that like buried in the picture?
It is, so on the PDF, if you were to try to view the PDF, it would say it on that PDF piece, because I do pull that over. But also, and then you like hover over, will also.
Hover over, okay, okay, thanks.
Should show it. I'm still working on all the pieces. So that's report format. I do want to give well done to the Worcester Public Library team for another successful Festival of Lights. We stayed open the first Friday of December until 8:30 p.m. To provide a warm space, and it was cold outside. So we had 815 people come through the back door, keep saying that, the library lane entrance, because that's our best way to keep count and not double count people. And so so we estimate 815 visitors to the library during the time. We gave out 600 cups of hot cocoa during that time, so it was very popular. Jen and Peggy ran point on that and did a fantastic job of making sure that we did not have we didn't really have line at all for hot cocoa. And Missy Cutler was in the Grinch costume and hammed it up with her handler, Angela. And Angela, do you remember how many you counted for the person?
Half an hour in, but I had 286 from 6 o'clock on.
286, fantastic. So it was a successful night for us, I would say comparatively to the previous, so it was more people came to the library this year than previous years. However, I do think that there were probably fewer people on the common based on how cold it was, because I wouldn't have had to wait, when I walked up to go say hi to the cultural office staff. That's when they started Santa, and I really could have gotten line for Santa, which is really unheard of for how long that line normally is. So it was bitterly cold, but we're really proud for that. To just jump into some of the additional things that might be of interest, and I'll be happy to take any questions on any piece of that. You'll see in this format that we're really trying to lean into fitting within those strategic imperatives that are laid out in our strategic roadmap. Our staff have done a really great job of addressing some of the issues that are happening in our community, and have been really creative about it. It's been really cool because, we had one of our bookmobile librarians, Jason Wargo, but along with Anj, Alex, and Mark, who are all our bookmobile drivers, welcomed over 80 students from Westminster Public Schools. We've had a field trip focused on our bookmobile. So there's a picture of the kids in your board report. Our staff have been really responsive to different issues happening in our community, including Winter and Megan putting together food brochures when staff benefits were suspended on November 1st. Our staff are continually looking for fun and engaging ways to interact with our community. So that's kind of under our connecting our community piece. For promoting literacy, one of our big things has been how successful our recording studio has been with the Talking Book Library. Even when we weren't able to fully upload all of the stuff during the government shutdown, we never stopped reporting books. And so Leanne has, so now we have a total of 7 books available internationally that have been recorded here, either by our staff, edited by our staff, and recorded by our community. So that's been really fun. One of the, a really cool thing, I'm sad that Linnea had just welcomed Harley in but didn't stick around, because she was asked to contribute to, an online publication of the National Library of Korea about March Meowness. So that has been submitted, March Meowness, a community-driven library engagement campaign, and that'll be translated into Korean and published next year, so we're really excited about that. It's a very cool opportunity for us. We have been feverishly hiring, and Peggy, who unfortunately had other obligation tonight, wasn't able to join us this evening, but she has been hard at work to try to get all of the positions filled. For example, we have the one remaining vote that we have in January will be to name a recording secretary. We are as of this afternoon, halfway through the first round of interviews for the what is now called the Projects and Special Events Coordinator. Formerly my assistant role, however, recording secretary is in the job description of this as well. We have tremendous candidates, which we had over 150 applicants for this role, which was quite a lot of reading on Solma, Peggy and my account. We are interviewing 8, and we'll be picking a top 3 to meet with the rest of the leadership team. So I will probably not have someone started by the next board meeting in January, but it would be a lot of work to be able to figure out how to get someone in that, given the fact that obviously next week we're not bringing people in for interviews because our staff are having time off that they have worked really hard for and deserve. So that's our kind of investment in staff piece, and then with that, I would be happy to answer any questions about my report.
So we got these as well, right? This so the, and I was able to do this in my printer didn't work perfectly, but in this brochure, you were talking about that they have the Portuguese event of cooking foundation. And I remember last month you talked about that as well. So my question is this a recurring thing, or is two different event, or is the same?
So the PowerPoint was provided because I recorded last month and didn't give it to you. This was kind of added onto the minutes at the end so that you would, so that it was officially in the record, because normally I give you this. So it's the same thing as last month. It's just the copy of it for the board packet.
Okay. So the friends of the library are not going to have report today, because the meeting was today and they canceled it. But a few weeks ago, they sent us an email saying that the Festival of Light, and that's what I want to talk about, they have a weekend sale of books that day, and they sell almost $2,000, which is a lot. Last year, they sold $500. So it's a lot of improvement. And they were giving, I don't know if they were giving away or selling outside there as well.
So they were giving away cider, so they set up and right in front of where the bookstore is, and we pushed over the library of things display to give them a chunk of land in front of it, and they set up their book sale kind of right in the middle of the library during the Festival of Lights as well as on Saturday. So they gave out hot cider to anyone who came by, so whether you purchased something or anything or not. They also had their new batch of coffee at that time, so I think I was like the 7th purchaser of a pound of coffee that night, and I bought it pretty early, so I know that they really outdid themselves on the
Yeah,
sales.
they were very excited about the event before and after. The email was very nice. And they said that they given away 6 gallons of cider.
Yeah, 6
So it
gallons.
was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah. Other thing that took my attention is this Scrabble tournament.
Mhm.
I've been taking like the signs that you put around making advertising to this, like a few months ago, they were having twice a week the Scrabble thing. All of a sudden goes down to once a week. And now the tournament was a success, according to what you wrote. So my question is, are you going to give more time to this tournament or to Scrabble thing, or they're going to stay as a 1 year event?
So I don't necessarily know if I know the answer to that, and I might have to ask Melody what her plans are. I know that Scrabble takes a lot of, it seems like it shouldn't take a lot of bandwidth, but does take a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah.
And like for it, she did want to make it special, because I think she needed a little bit of a break from it. So I made I designed our own 3D printed Scrabble trophy for the winner. So I'm not sure if I have anything to add. Does that sound like a good answer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so probably not every quarter, but yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's nice. Because I think it's a nice play to game,
Yeah.
nice game to play.
Mhm.
Right? And I remember one that I came to talk to Melody about it. The first time I saw the sign, I was very excited about. And it was not only me, it was like 3 or more persons in the front desk asking, and we were talking about new words in the dictionary, like "za," that is pizza, and stuff like that. So I thought that created a good momentum to the library. So that is very nice. I'm happy about the book recording because the studio is there and that they are using it and taking advantage of that is very interesting. I went once down there and it's very nice, good enough. And if they are producing books, that is a good thing that is going to provide the library with some projection outside of the
Exactly.
community or even the Massachusetts. Then the last question I have is just curiosity. This olive dog is the same olive dog that the French has, or it's another olive dog?
It's the same olive, and yeah, so it's the same one.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions for Jason?
I have another question. And that question is, have you ever thought about reading a book online?
So right now, in the,
Not you.
yeah. So right now, the thing that has been pretty successful is we have Dial a Story, which is that staff continue to update short stories as for poems or even kid stories. We have some of our children's librarians read kid stories. So most of the things that we do for what we're able to do copyright ways is we can do all of the reporting of any book that we have interest in that ours had already produced in our digital studio to be added to the Talking Books library. So they have different rules around what's available to blind and print disabled individuals and what is available to anyone. And then we have with that, under that umbrella, the dial a story. So people would just call on a phone number and it's 508-555. No, it's 508-123-456 or something. It's in the back of, I see it all the time. It's in any Zoom that
That's
I'm in,
okay.
it's behind me. It is, I have a poster behind me. So we do it that way, just posting stuff online, we would have general online, we would have some copyright issues too. But we're definitely looking for ways to just be more involved. The good news is our TBL is really talking to the library is really the busiest it's ever been and keeps getting busier.
That's great.
A really great example is our newest librarian, Karen, who was a library director at a different library and left that library to come work here. I believe she's been doing some events with the senior center. And do you remember how many people? 150 people came to her most recent event
That's great.
at the senior center. So so they're bringing in a lot of people right now, which has been really awesome because their outreach of those things that I mentioned is working.
Well,
Yeah.
what I had in mind was to use WCCA as an advent of auxiliary of the library, so that they could have some experience, not only reading a book, but being on television, and perhaps producing a show.
Yeah.
It's funny that you bring that up, because I have a conversation with Tim Lowe related to that tomorrow.
Good.
That's really cool.
I have a comment on the dial story. They have stories in different languages.
Yeah.
So
And that
this
would be-
is better. It's better than every time that I speak to some Latin American person, I will say you can call it. They speak in Spanish. So it's a very nice way to approach to the library in these
They could.
foreign
give you- yeah,
communities.
They could give you your own channel, basically.
Yeah.
And they could have on that channel, on certain days of the week, certain languages that people would know in advance.
Oh, today's Italian day, or today is, yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, there are opportunities that we could explore. It's worth exploring.
Will do.
And then I'll post it online if you want it to. They just post it on there. Yeah.
And there's just rights issues that you have to worry about, right?
Correct.
But I think they could handle that.
Yeah.
They're familiar with that. And the point is that it would give people, particularly students, students who come from Worcester, the opportunity to produce know what production is like, and
Yeah.
how they could be of help, and how they could get into it, whether they're interested in doing this.
Right.
And for foreign language speakers, I mean, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
We have huge populations here
Yeah.
who speak a foreign language. And this is this is our community piece, really.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Are you gonna share with us about that conversation in January?
Yes.
Okay, all right, great, so we'll back into that, yeah, okay. Anything else?
Can I ask a nerdy statistics question?
Yeah.
And also a process, I'm curious. So the most checked out books list that I always find out about because of like the local news picks it up. So do you all send that to them, or do they just troll the website hunting?
It is something that we build into it. So this year Tressa pulled it and we just said, hey, I know you're brand new, figure it out. It's pretty much how it happened. Yeah.
That's true. All the comments are true. And also, in full disclosure, Lydia did my quote. I edited my quote. Lydia did my quote.
Yeah, that's the world of press releases. So
Okay.
we do send it to them because in the past they were interested in it, but they would be interested in like, can you get it to us in 5 minutes? And we'd be like, we're gonna pull that. So then it became something that would be more proactive, and this year we gave it to them much earlier than normal. I always try to, I will say that, and assume an eye roll is about to come from you, I do try to get us to finish it around Spotify Wrapped time. So that's usually, a good time for us to be able, we know which books are gonna be there, and there's not really gonna be a sleeper that all of a sudden checks out unless we buy 1 million copies of one book, so that we can check it out at the same time, so.
And I always see it and I'm like, I gotta convince Worcester adults to read comics because the kids on the youth list are all comics. Then the adults are like, but it's just print that we own, and it doesn't matter who borrows it, right? It's
Correct.
okay.
Yeah, it did not account for ebook, but it's like all the branches combined.
Yes.
Yeah, and any format, copies, Word, do all of that.
Thank
Yes, I believe it's already been done for this year.
Yes, sorry.
What were the?
Yeah, what was the top
Yeah.
You can scroll, there's a carousel for each one on the site.
on the website?
Yeah, if you, on the homepage, there was a banner. I
So
clicked on.
what was the most popular book?
Kristen Hannah's villain.
Yeah. Which was number one last year.
So it's still,
So it's still on.
However, I think it was possibly tied with the second title on the list. And there was a tie, I think, in one of the categories. I think it was. Means, can't remember, but there was technically a tie, like 6 or 7, so I think.
I'm happy to send out the list to this group after this meeting.
2 of the school summer reading books were in our top 10, which means they're coming in and not our books, and that was really nice.
Great.
Okay, all right, so Jason will send that out to us after, and will loop back to us about that idea for the conversation that you had. Yes, okay. Okay. Now for the administration committee report. Matthew?
Sure, and so the administration committee met yesterday, which is why you all got an email from me earlier and don't have the minutes from the meeting. I did just send those to Jason, so they'll be included in the January board packet. But I'll go through them now. So the administration committee met yesterday for about 40 minutes. We had 3 topics of discussion. One of them is in front of your face. We had the administration committee had voted to approve the holiday hours for next year, sorry. I should have kind of looked this backwards. The ones in, I think this is supposed to be blue, right?
Yeah, sure.
The ones with asterisks in blue on their sheet are the ones that the board has to approve, because they are different from the city's holiday hours. So the admin committee was fine with that, and I cannot recall if the full board has to vote on it too.
They just have to vote to accept your minutes.
Okay, so at the end. And then we discussed a potential new procedure workflow for fees with lost items. Basically, the thought was that as kids transition off of a juvenile card to an adult card, we could waive fees on their accounts so that they're starting fresh and as adult. That way they're not responsible for anything that might have happened when their parents were responsible for their library books. Our fees and fines policies already make this viable, so it's not a policy change, it's just like a new workflow kind of situation. And Jason's working with the staff to make that happen. They actually came up with it themselves, which is really cool. And then we moved into executive session to discuss the executive director evaluation. This was a continuation of the last report where we had already met to discuss your all's feedback of Jason, but we needed to incorporate Jason's self-evaluation, which we have now done, which I sent you all over email, but I know not everyone had a chance to look at it. So the gist of it, I'm not reading this whole thing out to you because I am not a succinct writer. In general, though, everyone's reviews of Jason were glowing. We're happy with communication that's coming through, pleased with the vibrancy of the library in Worcester. We're basically like a bright spot when everything else is what it is. And the staff continues to do amazing things and grow. Some of Jason's goals last year were around compensation equity, which is an ongoing conversation with the city. The board is continuing to try to aid and grease the wheels as best as we can between the library and the city administration on that. So that will continue. And also working on redefining our relationship with the schools about library services. That is another long tail conversation, but progress has been made. We heard last night that we might see, Jason's been asked to present basically what you see as the ideal vision of the school libraries to both the city manager and the superintendent. So Jason's gonna be working on that to submit to them in February.
I want to get it in February. The goal is March.
The goal is March, okay. With the hope of in an ideal situation, we might see some new hired librarians in the public schools for the first time in like decades. So there's progress happening. It's just a slow moving thing. And yeah, so those are 2 of the goals, continuing to work that Jason will continue to move forward on, as well as major fundraising goals, primarily for Great Brook Valley, which we know is coming in this year. And then if money appears, future planning for Francis Perkins needs, right?
Some money has appeared.
Some money has appeared. Jason will report on that eventually.
Yep.
It's just not quite ready yet.
The foundation is started a campaign for the new building, right? I got an email today about the new library over there.
Yes.
That very people know that something is going to happen.
Yep.
Sad.
Yeah, someone is going to come from where.
Something's
Yeah.
coming, something good. This was, it's still good say.
But yeah, so basically in general, the evaluation was Jason's great, Worcester Public Library is great, let's keep helping them do good things. You can read the full evaluation when you have some.
Yeah.
But so that's what we met about yesterday, so I guess I'm asking for approval of all of those things, and I'm happy to take any questions. Question or approval?
Question. In reference to these holiday hours, so anything that's bolded with a star, does that mean that the library wants to be open? for
No,
those
those are additional closed hours.
Close
Yes.
hours, okay. Great, okay, I understand it.
Just, when it comes to the weekends or after 5, the city does not have, the city manager sets it's just like with snow. When it's 9 to 5, the city manager's call. After 5 or on weekends, it is my call. And this is kind of extension of that, so you'll see these are like the early closings and the Saturdays. That are centered around either holidays or staff development. So these are just early, that's
Great.
really what the board does.
So I move to accept your report.
Second.
Can we vote on it? Okay, so raise your hands. Raise your hand if you vote yes. Matthew, stop looking at me. Okay.
I won't do it because you look down at me every time.
He started. Okay, all right, so then everybody said yes, then we are good and it is official. Okay, great. All right. Next, no report of the Friends of the Worcester Public Library
Well-
since they were supposed to,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
oh, for the foundation, right? Okay, Friends, no report
No,
because they
the meeting
canceled.
was today and they was canceled.
Okay, thank you. And then foundation, Chrissy will be,
If there's anything, I don't.
Yeah, so, our last board meeting was the same night as your meeting, so we weren't able to attend each other's meeting. But I first wanna introduce to you our new board liaison, for those of you who don't know Lisa Melo. She will be attending your meetings as the board liaison. Dory Rourke, who was the prior liaison, rolled off our board unfortunately, but we're happy to have Lisa sit in, so you'll be seeing her at all the meetings. Excited. So, just a little reconciling from our event, I think when you met, I don't know if I gave you any update for it was, the meeting was so quickly after the event. But I can say pretty confidently that we've probably reconciled most of the expenses and, this year we made about $60,000 after expenses, which, was about 7,000 more than last year. So, it costs a lot more to put it on this year. We had a lot more people come, so we're still waiting for some funded need donations to come in, but it shouldn't make that big of a difference. So I was excited. I really had no idea at the end of the night what it was gonna look like, but I was pretty pleased with the results. Also, moving on to the next event, we tentatively planned the mini golf for May 1st and 2nd, so you can pencil that in. The library's on board and the mini golf company's on board, so barring any big conflicts, I think that's when we'll be doing it. And Great Brook Valley, we already have started soliciting some, or getting the word out there. We're still trying to gather a lot of information. Financial information, we were invited to apply for a grant, even given the limited information that we have, so fingers crossed. But yes, that was our appeal that we sent out, and we'll be doing targeted asks once we get more specific information on the timing, the finances, and what's involved in the project. So I don't know if anyone has questions on any of that.
Just to add to that, we did submit a capital grant request, a fairly significant amount to Hanover. Who solicited us to apply for that after our Celebrate Our Library event. After the quick slideshow and talk that I did, the foundation director there came up to Chrissy and asked us for a meeting. So we had to turn around a $250,000 ask in a week and a half. But Chrissy and Lydia pulled it off, so.
Well, again.
Well, we still finished the ask.
We are still, and so it's the timing, the grant was due at a certain time, and so they recognized that if we wanted to get it in this year, we had to sort of just at least give a broad, kind of a broad ask, and whatever information we had is what they said, so.
Right.
We'll see, we'll keep you posted on that.
Great. Okay, welcome.
That's great.
All right, okay, is there any new business? No. All right, then, is there a motion to adjourn? Mapping has mentioned, so second,
Second.
okay, well, then there we go, we adjourn.